today's video, I'll be analyzing the crypto sell-off that happened over the weekend. While there are many factors that led to the sell-off, I will highlight the main ones, including the Fed chair, the metals rally, and liquidations. All right, let's get into it. So, the first thing to note is that Bitcoin started the weekend at around 89K, but nosedived over 10% to a low of about $75,900 on Saturday, before recovering slightly to hover around $78,400 by Monday afternoon. Ethereum definitely wasn't spared. It dropped nearly 20% to 2,437, wiping out a trader's 222 million position in one go, and Solana got crushed too, sinking 15% and hitting April 2025 lows despite some ETF inflows. Overall, the crypto market cap shed billions, with altcoins and meme coins like Solana ecosystems down 10 to 25%. Liquidations were massive. Over $2.5 billion in Bitcoin positions alone got wiped out, per CoinGlass data, as leverage got destroyed in thin weekend trading. Okay, so here in this graph, you can see the Bitcoin liquidation wave, but now let's take a look at it on TradingView. Okay, so as you can see, we started the weekend off, honestly, not terrible. As you can see, going into Friday, we were at about 85K. Now, let's talk about what happened. As you can see on the daily, Bitcoin was kind of consolidating for a bit, pushing up and whatever. And now, let's see what happened. As you can see, once Saturday started, Bitcoin tanked, dropping almost 10%, like I mentioned above. And even on the daily, Bitcoin is now in the oversold RSI, and it has now dropped about 25% from its previous tap at the 100-day SMA, when everybody was saying that Bitcoin was starting its rally back to the top. Now, what does this mean? Well, I do think that Bitcoin is a good investment, and I myself am a crypto believer. Bitcoin has definitely taken a huge hitting. On the RSI, it's down all the way from overbought when it was down here all the way to oversold. Now, honestly, in my opinion, if you were to get into crypto, now is probably not the good time. I think that if you're buying for the long term, these prices are good, but in the short term, I would be cautious. Now let's talk about Ethereum. The same thing happened. We come into Saturday, prices at around 2,700, and we went all the way down to about 2,100, down almost 20%. Same thing with Ethereum. On the daily, we are oversold, which does mean that we will likely see a short-term up boost. Hopefully we don't head lower. And now let's go to the other altcoins, Solana and XRP. These ones had similar moves. As you can see, XRP went down about 13%, and Solana went down about 15%. So yeah, overall the altcoins really didn't fare that well, down 15 and to 16% in some cases. So now let's talk about it. This wasn't just a random move. It's a classic risk-off move bleeding from other assets. Precious metals got slaughtered first. Gold was down 13%, and silver was down a whopping 40% on Friday, forcing deleveraging where traders sold crypto to cover losses. And thin weekend liquidity amplified everything. Moves that might be 2 to 3% on weekdays turned into 10% cascades. And we also have some crypto-specific things. $1 billion in ETF outflows drained demand, and Bitcoin's hash rate dropped 12% from U.S. winter storms, hitting miner revenues, and MicroStrategy concerns is that their rally might be running out of steam. So, as you can see, MSTR, which is MicroStrategy and a company that heavily buys Bitcoin, has taken a huge fall off from its July highs when Bitcoin was starting to make all time highs. It is down about 70% from its all time highs and has taken an absolute beating while Bitcoin has fallen. Same for BMNR, which is a Ethereum treasury company. As you can see, it has fallen about 60% from its highs. So both of these stocks have had huge dumps and have been just going down as crypto continues to fall. Now, let's also talk about gold and silver. As you can see, gold was extremely overbought on the daily, and this led to a huge decrease. As you can see, on the Friday, it went down about 15% in the day, ending the day down 10%, and now it's down even more at about 15%. And silver, it had an even harder drop off, down about 40% in one day. Or it was down about 40% in one day. It ended the day at about 27% down. Now, while I agree that this was coupled with deleveraging, crypto has also seen a huge deleveraging. As you may know, especially on the weekends when there is low liquidity, deleveraging happens quickly and moves get over dramatized, as I said before. So, with all this coupled, crypto is still experiencing massive deleveragings ever since that October 10th event when short sell or when people who went long got absolutely killed on all these down moves. Now, oh sorry. Now overall, while I do think that crypto is a good investment for the long term, specifically in things like Bitcoin and XRP, which are my favorites, right now crypto is not looking in a good spot. And although various people have said, like Tom Lee, that this is a bottom, I'm not so sure. As you can see from all these technicals, XRP is down below its key support levels, and same with Solana that have fallen hard. Now, while it does look like we are seeing some support at these key levels, like Solana bouncing off its 200 weekly, um, not really XRP, but we also have Bitcoin tapping this key support level, and same with Ethereum. I think that these support levels must hold if we want to go higher. For example, if Ethereum doesn't hold here, we may see it go all the way back down to its lows of about 1500, which would not be good. Remember, this is what happened in the tariff wars when Ethereum went down about 60% from its highs, which is very dramatic. Same with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is entering this key support level and is the exact point where the tariff wars ended and everything got resolved, and then Bitcoin shot back up to all-time highs. This has been a key support level for Bitcoin, and if this doesn't hold, we may see the 200 weekly SMA, which is terrible for Bitcoin. So overall, if you're a long-term investor, this is a great time to buy, in my opinion. But if you're a short-term trader who is using leverage, I would be very careful with your actions. As always, do your own research before investing, and thank you guys so much.